Yeah. So as we are discussing, guys, it is possible in a difficult, there's a scripture, maybe let me go to it. I've always wondered how that happened in Genesis chapter 26. I know you know it just by mentioning that. If you are one who sometimes reads scripture, you will know that. Bible said of Isaac, he sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. In 13 it says, the man began to prosper and continued prospering until he became very prosperous. Yay! Yo, he began to prosper, continued prospering until he became very prosperous. Let's find out in Shona how it is put in Shona. I'm sure it's put in a way that is really interesting. In Genesis chapter 26, I want to read it in Shona. I find Shona sometimes just brings out. Zvino Isaka akadzvara zviyo munyika iyoyo, akawana gore iro rune zana. Jehovha akamuropafadza. Munhu uyu akava mukuru, akaramba achiwedzerwa kusvikira ava mukuru kwazvo. Sure. Rich, prosperous in life. It is possible. How do you do it? Guys, you have to have discipline around money. You have to have discipline in as far as living within your means, with whatever income you are getting. Live within your means. You will be able to achieve far much more if you live within your means. In Zimbabwe, in as far as clothing, is concerned, you go to the pre-loved items and you will be able to clothe yourselves, your children, your family at a cost that is affordable to you. And so you want to be thinking of ways and means that will make sure that you live within your means. Number 2, do not look to the Jones next door as a standard or measure of how you use your money. You do not know. Let me tell you, once upon a time we were young and people were getting successful. We would, way back then, there was no cell phone, there was no technology, online issues, internet. We used to get our news through the radio, through the television, and through print media, the newspapers. You would see a headline, so and so been taken to prison, because they, white collar crimes at work, misappropriation of funds, stealing, whatever. That's when you say, we used to think there's something wrong with us. Meantime, someone is living out of stolen money. So don't compare yourself. You don't know what those people are doing. Live within your means and be satisfied with where you are. That's number 2. Number 3, I said discipline. And I'm saying live within your means. Number 3, I know I talked about it earlier, but it's still very important. The issue of financial literacy. Educate yourself about money. Don't stay, in ignorance. Bible even says the days of ignorance God overlooks. He's not going to bite that because I didn't know what to do. Educate yourselves. And also engage in other. Make sure, scripture says, cast your bread upon many waters, for you do not know which one works either this or that. This muscle of side hustles, we don't, as Zimbabweans, it's not something that we have traditionally mastered. And I'm telling you, young people, it's a muscle you need to exercise. Sit down and think, what else can I do that will give me money for fuel, that will give me money for whatever. And when you do that, you will be amazed at what you can do with your side hustles. I know some people whose side hustles actually flipped and became the main thing for them because it had grown so much that whatever they were calling their mainstream became their side hustle. And the side hustle is now the mainstream. So we can do these things, but you have to be willing to exercise that muscle. You have to have the discipline to exercise that muscle. Because often, unlike the 8 to 5 job, where there's a supervisor, there's a manager who's overlooking what you are doing, here you are on your own. But let me tell you, don't be on your own. Work with friends. Be accountable to someone that, guys, I'm doing this side hustle and I need for you to check on me because I want to be diligent. I want to be persistent. I want to continue to work at my side hustle because I know if I succeed, my life will be changed. We've done it with friends. You know, in Harare, there's something called rounds. I know it happens it's given different names in different areas. I know in South Africa there's another name for it. I thought I knew it. It's just gone. But I know in Kenya they have a name for it as well. We just call it Mukando in Zimbabwe, in Shona. I don't know Matabeleland what they call it. A group of people, you come together. You give each other whatever you can afford. I know people that used to do Mukando on a daily basis. At the end of every day, they would give each other $1. Every day. Imagine if it's a group of 10 people. At the end of each day, you give this one $10, tomorrow this one, tomorrow this one. After 10 days, you start again. By the end of the month, you have saved up $30. And you know you can go and order whatever commodities you are trading in for $30 and you will begin to grow and you continue to do that. So no one can say, I couldn't do it because I didn't have money. All you need to do is to have a side hustle. From your side hustle, you begin to save as little as $1. Yesterday in a group, economic forum group from our church, and I've seen that it's been posted in other groups. Someone, a young man and a lady, they're talking about money, and the man says to this lady, if someone offers you $1 million, and that's option 1. Option 2, they offer you 1 cent, and that 1 cent doubles every day. Which would you choose? The woman said, I'll get $1 million. And then they start now going through the exercise. If 1 cent doubles every day, that little exercise, by the end of that session, the woman, if she had chosen 1 cent day 1 and double it every day, she would have ended with more than $5 million in 30 days because money is being doubled. I'm not saying that is what is going to happen in your situation, but I'm just saying, even scripture tells us, do not despise the day of humble beginnings. Don't look at $1 and say, I have no money. You have money. What are you able to do with $1? People have been known. I heard a story of one young man. He's late now, but he lived in one of the peri-urban areas that is fast developing to become urbanized. And we were being told that as a young man, if he would buy 2 kgs of sugar, and after buying 2 kgs of sugar, he would decant that 2 kgs of sugar and begins to sell that, using cups, measuring from a 2 kg packet of sugar, now selling it as cups. There are people who cannot afford to buy 2 kgs of sugar, but they can afford to buy a cup. And he would put his little markup, young as he was. By the time he died, he was one of the big people in town because he was very enterprising. So we need to train ourselves. That muscle needs to be trained. And when you have trained it, you will be amazed how far it will take you in life. Very, very important. One critical thing that I've said, and I'll say it again, you need to be accountable with your side hustle. You need to be accountable, not only inputting work into the side hustle, but when you begin to earn income, you need to be accountable to that income. What am I doing with that income? How am I managing that stream of income? Because you will never know. I did it. Personally, I did it. I always desired to be talking like I'm doing to people, but I'd never exercised it. I joined a ladies Mkando group, or Marounds, whichever you call it, and we started giving each other money. We started giving each other, the $100. I think by that time there used to be 9 of us. I think there were 9 of us. So when you will be getting your money, you get 800. And the way that round works is, if you are the last to receive your money, the next cycle you are the first. So I remember I found myself with 1,600 of money, after the two, the having been the last to receive and becoming the first one to receive. I saved that money, I put it aside. I do other things. Those days I used to sell dovi, peanut butter. I have a sister who had a peanut butter making machine, and my other sister, had access to peanuts. She would travel, in her big 8 to 5 job as a buyer for peanuts and things like that. So she would buy us those peanuts and give to my sister, who would then make peanut butter. I was the salesperson. I would put my little markup on those peanuts, and I would make my own money. And I started saving. And when they are starting different areas for housing development, usually at the beginning they are much cheaper. And there was an area where they were starting in Harare, and 1,000 square meters of land was selling for around $4,000. And with that month, money from my rounds, money from my other side hustles of selling peanut butter, I had 2,000. I had enough to pay deposit. And I put down my deposit for that piece of land. I then worked hard to ensure that I would have finished in the next 3 months, paying $500 a month. And in no time I had done it. What a boost to myself. Guys, these things can be done. These things can be done. And I became a proud landowner because I put my mind to it. I told a few friends that this is what I want to do. And I did it. I achieved it. What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your, extra cents that remain at the end of every month? Can you not do some buying and selling? Can you not manufacture something? Can you not grow something that you can sell and make money out of it? Do you have a house with bedrooms that just lie, empty for so long? Can you not sweat that asset, rent some rooms and get some money out of it? Do you have a car that you are parking at home? You have 2 cars, one of you use the other, you park at home. Can you not use the other one as a taxi? In Harare, there is the in-drive thing. You can become part of that. Somebody will work with your car. You will earn some money out of your asset. Sweat your assets. Some people have farms that they inherited from their parents. They are doing nothing there. Can you not lease it to someone so that the land is worked and you get a renter from it? Guys, we can do a lot. We can do a lot. We have, as a people, as a generation, we have to exercise this side hustle muscle so that we earn much more than we ever earned as a people. And we want to make sure that we are accountable to the money that we are earning. We have goals that we want to achieve, and we will achieve them, and we will be able to do it. I know we can go on and on and on and on. Bottom line, do not be afraid to begin to make money, even under our circumstances. You can make more money. You can build. You don't have to build in Harare. If you find land expensive in Harare, go and build in other smaller cities. Go and build at a growth point. I know someone in Harare, they live in Harare, but their target for investment are growth points, what we call growth points. They are going out there, they are buying commercial land, they are buying, land for housing, and they are building out there. And their life has changed already. Don't limit yourself to what you've always known. Go out, experiment on what else, how else, what to do. You will be amazed at what can come out of that. I really am so invested in this. In fact, I think I want to talk about next time about, retirees. I belong to that regimen as well, on managing money. Very, very important. Very, very important. So young people, please, you can do it. Don't take off that shame from your face. Sell something, sow something, make something, grow something, earn more money, and you will be the happier. Thank you for coming our way. We will continue to talk about money in this series because I think it's very important. But thank you so much for coming. Please subscribe, comment, share, like. Very, very important. People are not commenting. Please, please, please comment. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming our way. See you next time.